Hi everyone, I hope you're doing really well today. Just tried to get a few videos going, but it's been a bit stubborn. So yeah, it's Free from Panic with Ken on Tuesdays. Some other things that people with social phobia struggle with are they struggle with public speaking, dealing with authority figures, eating and drinking in front of other people, dating, writing, being in public, taking exams, generally anything social. A person with social anxiety will struggle with having to greet people, having to shake people's hands and things like that can really freak out a person with SA, because there's a lot of fear of greeting and meeting people, that you might panic, that you might freak out, that you might lose control, and therefore that they'll think you're weak and you'll look weak, and you know that everybody will be watching when you fail. That's what it's like. A lot of the things that I struggled with when I had social anxiety were things like going to the train station, getting on buses with crowded people, waiting in line and having to approach counters and look people in the face. And I know from speaking to people who've had social anxiety or have it, that they struggle with those things too. It's really hard looking people in the eye when you have SA. I'm sure people with SA really relate to that. Is you feel that they're staring right through you. It's like that they're looking right into you, and it relates a lot to believing that you're being judged and watched and scrutinised. A lot of people with social anxiety, when they're trying to do things around others, it feels as if other people are just scoping them out and watching and waiting for them to fail, and it's a constant feeling of that. You constantly feel like everyone's watching all the time. When you walk down the street, or if you try and walk by a highway or a busy street and all the cars going past, you're almost certain in the back of your mind that they're looking and watching, and that's what the person with SA really thinks, that other people are judging them. So yeah, all that's got to have a pretty detrimental impact on your social life. I found it took a big chunk out of my life until I started to get help, which was towards 23 years old. So I was in a pretty distressed state by then, and I was really pretty ill. And with social anxiety, it's so much to do with what they're thinking at an unconscious level. Maybe they aren't aware of it yet, that they have these negative beliefs about socialising, but they know that they feel that others are judging them, and that's what I sort of saw was in the first couple of sessions with my counsellor. I began to see that I developed these irrational beliefs about socialising, and that I needed to develop more rational ones, and that was a lot of work. I will show my thought diaries, and I will show my art therapy. I just haven't, they're packed away somewhere, and I'm just trying to find them. But when you have all these problems socially and you can't go out, eventually you become housebound, and that's, in and of itself, that's no fun. So being housebound is not a nice thing. It's not a fun thing. I was housebound towards the end of my SA, and it was really depressing, being cut off from everyone and not being able to go out, and it's awfully lonely. It's a lonely experience, being stuck in your own home and not being able to get out and talk to people and just do normal things, day-to-day things, and interacting, because a person with SA, their life is so hindered by the disorder. It's had a terrible effect. Normally, when you're facing situations like danger, or if something was going to happen, the flight or fight response, which is like a physiological response to danger that we have, is constantly being triggered. Like the whole nervous system is being absolutely exhausted, because this is triggering off, because you think you're being watched and judged, and it triggers off a whole you know, a whole lot of panic and fear and terrible anxiety, and it's really exhausting to live like that. Social anxiety can affect high profile people as well. Donny Osmond, Kim Basinger, Barbara Streisand, there's quite a few people here. Susie O'Neill, a swimmer, Gary McDonald. It can affect anyone. There's no sort of, it crosses all economic backgrounds, all classes, all cultures. It's not a disorder that discriminates. And sometimes, like with me, I had a long history of anxiety and panic. Sometimes people are born with it. For me, anxiety's been a lifelong experience for me. Certainly not social anxiety now, but up until 22, 23, I've pretty much had all different forms of anxiety, generalized panic, tremors, all that sort of stuff. And everyone's different. Some people can get hit with it later on in life, whereas some people like me can sort of start out with an early history that's pretty long. But it is a treatable condition. You can get better. You can get better from social anxiety, and I'm proof of that, because I was a really bad case, really severe, and I got better with good therapists and help. But one of the main areas that is the CBT, the cognitive behavioural therapy, or identifying those beliefs, because it's what you believe about socialising that gives social anxiety such power over your life. It's those beliefs that you're going to panic and that you're going to look weird and you're going to look strange and be judged by people. It's those ones that are so powerful, and it's changing them to more rational beliefs. And there was a lot of thought diary work, hourly thought diaries. This went on for about, this must have gone on for at least 5-6 months. So there was a lot of work on my part with the guidance of a therapist to straighten out the thinking that I developed with social anxiety. That said, I think people can respond to different types of therapy. I'm not sure that there's, everyone's different, but for me it was definitely identifying those beliefs. And things did get better, and it can get better. And spiritual aspects of life can be helpful too. What I think I did pray a fair bit, and that helped me a lot. Prayer can be good. Sometimes prayers aren't always answered. Mine took quite a while to get answered, in terms of hitting a place where I was so unhappy living like that I couldn't go on, and I had to get help. But spirituality can be a good thing. Prayer can help. It doesn't have to be God or religion. It can be higher power or whatever you feel comfortable with, and that's pretty much where it's at for me. I just pray to a higher power, because any spiritual help or a helping hand is a good thing, and particularly for people with social anxiety, because it's had such a terrible, devastating impact on their day-to-day living, and it's taken away their life. But I really believe that if anyone has any questions or answers, or any questions, that they want to ask me, fire away too. I'm happy to answer anything. I was just a bit knackered because I couldn't get the videos. I tried to record about 4 other videos, and none of them worked. But there is help available, and there is some social phobia treatment manual. You can Google that. So that's the social phobia treatment manual. That's the same one that I used when I was getting better. That was really helpful. There's social anxiety support, which is .com, which is like a support page for people with social anxiety. There's Social Anxiety Institute. There's different things that you can read up on and look at to get information. But when it comes to actually getting help, it's probably best to talk to a psychologist, and then maybe a psychiatrist later on. I needed fairly extensive therapy because of my issues, but there is help, and people can get better from this disorder, and I'm proof of that. So thanks for watching, and I hope you're all really good. I'm pretty good. Thanks to Melissa for being so kind to me, to all the collab-channel uploaders, people doing all the vids, and everyone else watching. Thank you so much. Leave comments and leave messages, and I hope you have a good day and take care. Thanks. Bye.